Yes, respected friends, welcome. Let us do our studies together, understand together, invoke grace of the Lord together, and doing our sadhanas. May we find our unison at the feet of the divinity. Welcome, congratulations, gratitudes, continuous wishes, and prayers that these sessions become fruitful in giving us the ultimate anubhuti through whatever the processes we have to follow. Please remember all the 12 Vyaktitvas of Lokasevaka, Dharmastapaka, Viragi, Bhakta, Shishya, Mumukshu, Jignasu, Shrota, Sadhaka, Parishrami, Prerana, and Shanta Swabhava. And all our six sources of inspiration, sources of empowerment, sources of protection, sources of guidance. The Shruti Mata in the form of Shruti Smriti Purana Itihasa, the Guru Tattva in the form of the Guru Parampara, the Swaguru and the Acharyas, the Devata Ganas, inner and outer, they're all very subtler, can't be seen through our ordinary eyes. They are very much there. So too the Shakti Adipara Shakti Mata, so too the Ishvara, and also the Brahma Tattva. Let us continue the Brahma Purana quotations, very, very informative, very, very inspiring, giving us the clear picture regarding sadhana. In our Sambandha Bhashya, in the first chapter of the Shwethashwathara Upanishad from Krishna Yajurveda. Before that, our sankalpas, etc. Before that, today's thought. Like every day, one substantial thought we are thinking, understanding, finding it really useful for a sincere person. Today's thing is this one. Okay? Whether it is samsara of the worst order, whether it is the samsara of the highest order, whether it is sadhana of the lowest order, whether it is sadhana of the highest order. All of that is in the mind and because of the mind. It is the medium. First, let us recognize it because somewhere we always think to start, where to start from. This is the point of starting. It is the mind. In the mind only, the Maya with its three gunas goes on affecting. You know, the Maya's three gunas are expressed in the mind only. Because of these three gunas of the Maya, alone the mind has continuously different thoughts or sankalpas all the time. And those sankalpas take the position of the willingness or the desires. Again, that mind alone goes on planning to procure that through various means. And that mind alone propels the senses and body to act in this angle, in that direction. And again, that mind only waits for the results. And that mind only again through the sense organs enjoys those results of either sukha or dukkha. So all that is in the mind. Therefore, what is the life's achievement or success is how much, how far we are able to command this mind. The whole life struggle of a spiritual seeker is to command this mind in such a manner that by doing which we suffer or get lost or becoming samsari is avoided from our mind, and that by which we evolve. That is the only thing that is being done by our mind. This thing, if we can command, then we are truly understanding and doing and achieving the spirituality. Now, though this mind in this way seemingly independent, yet it is not independent. It has always the promptings by two main things. The two promptings to the mind are: one is the terrible, powerful, our own impressions, our own samskaras, our own vasanas, the thought patterns they are called. Deep thought patterns from this life right from beginning, knowingly or unknowingly, even the earlier lives. Whatever were done and gathered, into that angle only the mind goes on thinking, isn't it? It's like every day we get up morning, go for brushing. How come that action is happening effortlessly? The hand and mouth are doing the work, but the mind is making them do the work. Why? Because there is a inscribed pattern in the samskara that सुबह उठ के दांत मांजना है, like that. So to many of the almost all the things are effortlessly done by us because of the mind easily commands them because we have that type of samskara. The other thing to which the mind is supposed to listen to is the buddhi, isn't it? So if the mind is under the influence of the samskaras, vasanas, that also the vasanas, samskaras are very baliya, very balavan, very prabala, then our life will be totally out of our hands. The vasanas, the mana, the manovritti, the manosankalpa, and all the actions accordingly. फिर हमारे हाथ में कुछ नहीं रहेगा. These vasanas only are in the sattvic or rajasic or tamasic. And most of them are rajasic, tamasic only. Desire something, do something, get something, then some rest you take. That sort of very powerful vasanas inside. That's how the mind goes on thinking in that line only as if there's nothing other than it. It is the intellect which is supposed to have the power to command the mind. Now, how can the intellect command the mind? Isn't it? Only when the intellect has the thorough, complete, clear understanding or knowledge with which it can overpower the influence of the vasanas on the mind. Intellect has information or knowledge, but still this knowledge is not strong enough or it is weak only not to overpower the vasana samskara, then that meager knowledge won't help her to command the mind. Then again the vasanas only, like goodness in India, let us say, or our Hinduism. Good, strong, but not strong enough to counter the negative. Then the negative only will go on influencing. Therefore, there's no way and no choice then to make our intellect very strong, very strongly convinced in its knowledge regarding in which direction the mind has to be put in. And that theory should be practiced also till the mind totally comes under the command of only the buddhi, in the effort of which automatically, because the vasanas are understood carefully and not given the chance to overpower, slowly they recede. And it's a game, it's a play, it's an awareful play wherein my intellect has become made to be awakened. My intellect is empowered with all knowledge and information, and my intellect is now aware of how the vasanas are influencing the mind, and my intellect is stronger enough not to allow the vasanas to overpower, and itself is able to command the mind. And what is the way the intellect is empowered? There is no other way, second way, then listening and studying Shastras, then contemplating and getting convinced about the entire beautiful knowledges that are given in the Shastras. That is the Atmajnana Shastras and Atmajnana, Atmajnana Prapti Marga Jnana, or the Jnana regarding the Dharma Adharma, the Jnana regarding Papa and Punya, the Jnana regarding Sukha Dukha, Naraka Swarga, Manushya Janma or Pashu Janma. About all these things, Buddhi, when it is fully equipped with the knowledge and convinced also with thorough, proper efforts of contemplation, then the Buddhi is ready. It knows, like any driver. He must know exactly which direction not to go to reach to destination, which direction to go to reach to destination. So, to with what speed I must go, again, what would be the en route obstacles? How to conquer them? What are the cares that have to be taken in advance, whichever can be taken? And even after that, when we go there en route, any of the unexpected problem comes, how to sort it out? Isn't it? Everything you may not have while traveling in the car. But he has an idea, let's suddenly जा रहे कार में सब ठीक ठाक बट लैंडस्लाइड हुआ. अब now you can't go ahead. It's not a car related problem where you change the tire or something. अब क्या करें? The driver must know that nearby there is a village. We can spend this night there so that tomorrow we can do something. No, that knowledge that there is some village, their place to stay, दिमाग का काम है वो. Even नहीं है तो चलो ढूंढते हैं. Any sort of such thing. So when the intellect that way is more informed, more educated, more convinced, therefore more powerful to command our mind than our vasanas, then only we live life like a buddhijivi, like a manushya. And then we'll be able to avoid doing all those things through the mind which are destructive for us, destructive for the samashti, destructive for the nature, destructive for the others, and not wanted or liked by the Lord. ये सारे हम अवॉइड करके we can be doing those liked by the Lord, not destroying the nature, helping the totality, even helping others, and as well as helping our own evolution. And the unfortunate thing is what? Vasanas are made stronger in us. Negative convictions are given to the buddhi. Therefore, these two put together are destroying the mana only. Mana is a very innocent fellow. उसके बाद पीछे जो वासनाएं हैं जो बुद्धि में कन्विक्शंस है वही वो करता है. When the buddhi is not exposed to the knowledge, है ना, then that buddhi also becomes gulam to the vasanas. Then the vasanas give that sankalpas. Buddhi thinks and says, "Chalo approved," and then both of them instigate the mind. Then mind behaves with those thoughts, emotions to express outside through the faculties. The biggest problem is not empowering the intellect. And the only way of empowering intellect is all these Shrutis, Smriti, Purana, Itihasa, Shastras. And the Mahatmas who have got all that knowledge, who are so much full of that, you know, experience, convictions, and they are love and kindness to tell us that. इसलिए स्वयं पढ़ो, हर दिन शास्त्र पढ़ो, and then only buddhi is kept empowered. And some intricate things, subtler things, deeper things, the gurus and acharyas who have studied more than us, understood more than us, have been advanced than us, when we listen to them, it becomes more easier for us to grasp the difficult things. It saves our time and effort. The danger in studying our Shastras by our own self is what? We only interpret the Shastras according to our own choice of the mind and vasanas. वो हमेशा वो डेंजर रहता है. Isn't it? If you don't tell your servants what sabji exactly you bring, he will bring up his own choice, which will be not of your liking. So you have to tell him, yahi karna, not the other one. In the same way, we cannot give choice to ourselves for our mind intellect to understand Shastra. Therefore, always it is better to listen to those who are more experienced than us. That is the need of satsanga. Otherwise, Shastra everybody can study. See, Shastragnopi Swatantrena Brahmanveshanam Nakuryad, it is said. Whether it is Dharma Shastras, Bhakti Shastras, Yoga Shastras, Niti Shastras, Vedanta Shastras, we should have our Guru to explain to us, our Acharyas. Then we also have to put our effort. Up to this point, also, many of us have come, but that is also insufficient. The next step is what? Filling our intellect with that knowledge. Then making that knowledge our conviction. Then getting convinced that I will live life according to this convinced knowledge in my intellect, which I received from the authentic sources and myself also thought over it. Now the picture is very clear, so clear in front of my eyes. The result depends on the karma. The karmas are done as prompted by the mind. The mind is having its option of coming under the command of the buddhi or the vasanas. So far, vasanas were predominant and they were guiding the mind, and vasanas are always about the artha kama only. Therefore, only rajo tamo gunatmaka were being done. The dharma, the punya, the yoga, the sadhana, the upadhi niyantrana, the paramatma prapti marga, they were never a subject matter in our life. Like a westerners, when you see them, many of them, कुछ अच्छे भी है, they never know all these shastras, internal knowledge. Their mind is always outside exposed only. What are the things to gain to make the body or life comfortable? And they are achieving great things in that field. Not that they are selfish or bhogi, they are doing for others also. Whatever they are inventing, it is helping others. But the aspect of spirituality is zero. They send that James Hubble telescope to the sky to find what is happening in different stars. But they don't become introverted to know what is that from where I is starting. Yeah, problem. In the same way, so far my vasanas were guiding mind. Now, day in and day out, through the study of Shastras, listening to Shastras, my own contemplation, I am going on strengthening my intellect in its complete knowledge, correct knowledge, authentic knowledge, and convinced knowledge. About what? Again, the different subject starts. About what are the causes of dukkha, which we don't want, what are the causes of sukha we want. So, intellect should be convinced strong. पाप करो दुख ही मिलेगा, पुण्य करो ही सुख मिलेगा, धर्म करो तभी सुख मिलेगा, अधर्म करो पक्का दुख मिलेगा. नेगेटिव वैल्यूज है तो दुख ही मिलेगा, पॉजिटिव वैल्यूज है तभी सुख मिलेगा. सेवा करो सुख, स्वार्थी है तो दुख. These convictions in our intellect should be there. And that is what's widely spread and given to us in all our Shastras. Many of them directly tell, many of them tell us through the stories. What is the meaning of Pandavas and Kauravas? What is the meaning of Ram, Lakshmana, Shatrugna and their Ravanasura, Kumbhakarna and Indrajit? What do you mean by Devatas and Rakshasas? They are the examples. For the values they stand. One is negative, other is positive. So through all of them, my intellect should be fully equipped, convinced. What is bandhanam, what is moksha. You know, in the same way, when you come to spirituality, what is anatma, what is atma, what is adhisthana, what is adhyaropa. Then that intellect now cannot sleep, and it's not allow the mana to get distracted or sleep. Thus, the senses and body also should not be allowed to sleep till the Paramatma is reached. That is the meaning of Uttishtata Jagrata Prapyavaran Nimodata. Arise, awake, get taught or educated by the masters, and understand and do and reach the goal. If the intellect is not informed also, and it is not awake and it is sleeping also, again Mahuna karke the vasanas will come. Isn't it? Like if the Hindus sleep, all the other people who are enemies to us, they become activated, they become together, and they again destroy us. If the Indians with patriotism, they are sleeping, then the selfish people will sell our country for the other countries. If we are sleeping to our own children and they are bringing up properly, they'll be sold out to the misguidance from the world around. You can't have choice in life. Therefore, what we are doing through our everyday Shastras is to add to the power of the intellect, to empower the intellect. Intellect's power is knowledge, complete knowledge, correct knowledge, authentic knowledge. And even this knowledge, be attentive, is correct, is proved only after the result comes after we perform according to knowledge. But then, right now, the authority of Shastra, the authority of the so called great people, is the only way for us intellect to accept it. In some places, intellect is able to analyze and understand. But still, we don't know. Till the experience comes, we don't know. Till we perform, experience or result will not come. But the performance we do when the intellect permits. But intellect can never have clear knowledge about everything, anything. Only way is what? That is how the elders and earlier people, they have done it, they achieved it, therefore they are saying. Just like na, dharma karo to sukh milega, punya karo to sukh milega. It can never be proved before doing them. Isn't it? Because the result comes after doing. After result only we have faith in. But then where to begin from? That is why the faith in the Guru, faith in the ancient people who have lived this noble life and they got the result. And very authentically they said their authenticity is out of their experience. So that's why we read the stories of those great Mahatmas. That's what are the Purana Itihasa contain. You know, dharma, श्रुति स्मृति पढ़ने से सिद्धांत we get. पुराण इतिहास पढ़ने से examples we get for our intellect to be fully equipped with authentic knowledge, that it is fully able to command the mind. And not even once now, the mind will go in wrong directions as misguided by the vasanas, then we will never do things wrong, we will never get bound or suffering in this world. Other than this, letting ourselves loose, not allowing our intellect to get empowered because of our laziness, etc., then we are enemies to ourselves. We destroy ourselves. That is why we have to take our life in our hands. We should think, okay, this is the way the life has to be lived, then we have to work accordingly. Just imagine few days or a month or so, none of the Shastras studied. None of that knowledge is refreshed in us. And the whole knowledge becomes dusted or rusted or like the dirt on the mirror. You can't see that reflection. तो पूरा बुद्धि उसका ज्ञान साइड पे हो जाएगा, then ये सारे फिर इकट्ठा हो जाएंगे. The vasanas, the mind, the senses and the body. And they have always one thing only. What is that? Be worldly. Be sukhi bhogi on the external things. And to get that, do any nonsense. But it leads to unnecessary negative results. That intellect says, वो intellect को मौका ही नहीं देते हो लोग. जो होगा तुम झेलो उसको, हम तो ऐसे ही करेंगे. You know, like the children, we play in the heat or rain. If you get bimari, you have to take care of us. As if that they do all nonsense. See, they don't want to take responsibility of the cause. We will not study. जो फेल होएगा देखेंगे. So they are what? उनका दिमाग जीरो है. उनका वासना और मन ही ब्लाइंडली काम कर रहे हैं. That's called infatuation or moha. Moha is that way of life lived according to the vasanas and mind, where the intellect is not at all allowed to guide. Our intellect is powerless, informationless, knowledgeless, convictionless, clarityless, and it is powerless to command them. That's called delusion. Like, what is a delusion? Seeing the snake in the rope, on the rope. Why do you call delusion? Intellect is not powerful enough to probe to the truth, what is there. If it has power to probe, we will see the rope as it is. There will be no delusion of snake and consequent fears and miseries. In the life also, it is our mind. Whether the tamoguna, rajoguna are there, it is our mind because of vasanas. And that struggle we have to go through to conquer the rajas tamas by invoking sattva with the conviction of the buddhi. Buddhi should know. है ना, गीता में कहते हैं ना, रजस्तमश्चा विभूय सत्वम भवति भारत, रजस सत्वम तमश्चैव तमस सत्वम रजस्तथा. Whichever for long time we give value the three gunas, that becomes strong, predominant, suppresses the other two. Whether we do it knowingly or unknowingly. Unknowingly we value rajoguna, sattva, tama gets suppressed. Unknowingly we value the tamo guna, rajas, sattva gets suppressed. Unknowingly or knowingly when we value sattva guna, it becomes predominant, other two get suppressed. This is the knowledge. Intellect should have this. Then keep on involving only sattvic gunas. This is the only way to not allow the other to express. And this we studied in Yoga Darshanam also in the first Samadhi Pada. And even the latest also, what we studied in the Vimukti Pada is this only, the Vyuthana and Nirodha. Which samskaras we are allowing the Vyuthana and whose Nirodha we are doing. सात्विक का व्युत्थान करो, राजसिक तामस का निरोध लगातार करते रहना है. Like what government has to do. The good, honest workers have to be always promoted. The criminals have to be always suppressed. In the body, what the immunity does? It always suppresses the harm causing the whatever the bacteria in the body and empowers the positive things to work. This is an eternal job. You can never relax in this job. The moment we relax, again the other things get the mauka. I just gave an idea from the standpoint of the three gunas. In the same way, the influence or the effect of these three gunas in the form of various moods or emotions or thought patterns in the mind. Isn't it? We have to be conscious of it. अरे अभी ये वाला द्वेष का विचार आ रहा है, ये तो रजो तमो गुण वाला है. Dvesha should not be there. I have to have only the prema. See, this thought of jealousy is coming. आना नहीं चाहिए. See, this thought of taking revenge is coming. This thought of selfishness is coming to me. And the selfishness thought is telling me, never mind, do that wrong thing of cheating that fellow. This सब रजो तमोगुण का खेल है. But I have know what is sattva guna. I have studied Shastra. So in my buddhi, there is a conviction. With the negative rajotamo, immediate benefit I may get, but later on I will be caught. With the sattva immediately I may have some less profit, but later on that is what gives comforts and solace. Therefore, I will not do according to this negative thought of the mind. तो एक्शन को भी कंट्रोल करना है, थॉट पैटर्न को भी कंट्रोल करना है, वासनास को भी वीकन करना है, नॉलेज को भी स्ट्रेंथन करना है. Of the intellect. Any day, if you miss any of these cares taken, like any day, any part of the body, if you don't take care, that part will have some problem. That properly बांधोगे नहीं, देखते देखते you will have the teeth getting problem. Then you have to go for replacement or what you call the root canal. अब पता नहीं, they're all result of negligence. Even if the dentist is careless, he will also have a problem. Any part of the body non-cared. Any part of the life, the finance aspect, if you have become careless for 1 year, पता ही नहीं चलता, सारा बैलेंस खत्म हो गया. If you are careless about your friends, relatives, or children or family, anywhere we don't attend properly, then what's happening to us is we are getting exhausted in non-essentials on the name of bhoga. Therefore, there is no energy for us to do all these positive things. That also intellect's knowledge only. Intellect should know it. We are very small, little, tiny, insignificant fellow called as human being. Our times, our resources, our energies are very, very minute. And the goals to be achieved are bigger, bigger ones. Then how can I afford to waste even little of my this time or energy in unwanted things? This awareness is the beginning of our real evolutionary journey. There's no other way. We are careless in this regard also. Letting loose the mind, intellect, mind mainly and senses into the worldliness, and they go and get back with full tired and exhausted. Like you alone, you allow your children, जा बेटा खेल के आओ. अब खेल खेल के इतना थक जाएगा वो. How can he study now? We are not having we are not yogis that from the infinite source continuously we invoke the powers. Are we upasakas at the highest level? Are we the yogis that we have totally commanded our chitta and all? Then how can we get the supply of energy continuously from the total? The great yogis can. That way, throughout the day they work, still they're full of energy. Because they have learned the art of tuning to the source of the whole power and energy. अब हम वहां तक तो पहुंचे नहीं. So whatever we have, that much only we have. Then how much we have to be rationing it, carefully using them. See, that means what? All these aspects put together is maturity and understanding. None of these things can be taken lightly. With a complete comprehensive understanding of all these, we have to chalk out our life's journey and walk in that path. That is the dignity of human being. Minus this, in the human body, we are living life like animals. Animals क्या है? घास फूस दिखाई दिया, अंदर से भूख आ गई और जाके खा लेते. They don't think anything, any higher thing. वो खा लिए और पेट भर गया, then they sleep only. They have no, अच्छा पेट भर गया ना, चलो हम थोड़ा सोशल सर्विस करते हैं. हम थोड़ा सा ऐसा और फ्यूचर थोड़ा मेहनत करते हैं, स्पिरिचुअलिटी करते हैं. एनिमल्स को नहीं होता हो, और जिनको नहीं होता दे आर लाइक एनिमल्स. है ना, पेट भर लिया और सो गए. लिटिल थिंग्स विच एनिमल्स डोंट हैव, वी हैव आवर एंटरटेनमेंट्स. That way, if we live like this is an animalistic only. So therefore, the thing is mind. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho bandhaya vishayasaktam mokshaya nirvishayam smrutam. Then that mind is our choice. Go on increasing negative vasanas and make the dosti between vasana and the mind, and you suffer their misconducts. Or strengthen the intellect day in and day out with all the authentic knowledge and consciously put the mind in the direction as ordered by the intellect. This is also another thing. ज्ञान होना अलग है, ज्ञान के मुताबिक जीने का आदत बनाना अलग है. वहां भी मेहनत लगता है और लगातार वो भी, because the time gap is very less there. Little bit the knowledge is not used, the vasanas they won't take permission, they just attack. Like I have to attend my class morning. That knowledge, if it is not used and you come to class exactly at the time stipulated, 2 seconds is enough for the vasanas to over. चलो आज क्लास नहीं करते हैं, चलो आज दूसरा काम करते हैं. अरे करंट बिल नहीं पे किया और ये नहीं किया. Everything you remember at the class time. खाना बनाना है और किसी को दवाई देनी है. All the things we remember at the time of class. It takes 2 seconds only. And the decisions are so fast, actions are so fast. Whether ना you realize, अरे क्लास स्टार्ट होके 10 मिनट हो गया होगा, अब जाकर क्या फायदा. See the other justification. Isn't it? This thing we don't do when we see the cinema or movie or cricket. चलो आखिरी 10 मिनट है ना, चलो वो तो देख कर एंजॉय करेंगे. इधर पहले के 10 मिनट ही खत्म हुए, बट फिर लिस्ट है, चलो कल देखेंगे, कल जरूर क्लास अटेंड करेंगे, वो भी नहीं, कल देखेंगे. An example I am giving. Same way, the mind vasanas work. Puja kal देखेंगे, जप कल देखेंगे, शास्त्र अध्ययनम let us do tomorrow, meditation let us see later on, total spiritual life अगले जन्म में देखेंगे. तो अभी क्या करोगे? गधा भैंस की तरह live a life of अर्थ काम. Is it not happening in us? Who is responsible? Isn't it like any government politics outside? Inner human life politics also is there. So is the same way. The intellect, the mind, the senses, body should be integrated. And all of them, the mind, body, senses, should be guided by the intellect. Intellect should have the authentic knowledge gained from authentic sources. This is the way, the wise way of living. The other way of living is the otherwise way. The illogical and destructive vasanas, and they command. Like we give the power to the wrong people in the nation, 65 years we have done that. And they have no Desha Bhakti, no Dharma Bhakti. वो लोग राम लल्ला को हजारों साल ऐसे ही रखेंगे टेंट में. They won't allow the temple to form. They don't allow other beautiful things to bring to India. They don't allow the Indian economy to grow. They are under the influence of the other Western people. Therefore, अपने उपयोग के लिए जितना है उसी लेवल पे इंडिया को रखेंगे वो लोग. When you give power to those dushtas, isn't it? Now give उनको power देख के देखो. 1,000 years back, okay, India will go. In the same way, in our life, when we give power to the things which are non-positive, we are going to only suffer. It is in our hands, in our own interest, in our own discretion. We have to have the clear picture of all this. If you really want to, you know, protect from falling down, sustain the life of goodness in ourselves, and also seek evolution, there is no way other than taking all these things into account. And we have to work on them. And it is a continuous, constant process. Nirantaram it is. No holiday, no rest, no relaxation. These are all again projections of the mind and senses to derail us from the intellectual way of living life. Give a chance to that, John. चला गया. Like I tell you, every day I'm telling you, my mind also suggests enough of the classes. Nobody listening. When regular people also, उनका भी प्रारब्ध खत्म हो रहा है. You stop it. My mind tells me every day. But then I say कि करो क्या फिर? Did I get the sufficient knowledge now, conviction that thank God सब छोड़ के go deep into meditation, into गुफा? अभी नहीं हुआ, हुआ तो खुद ही मैं ही जानूंगा. Therefore, what is the other way intellectually? Even though it is struggling for you, even for the people, continue, continue, continue. Much before starting to evolve, what you have to do is stopping ourselves from falling down. That also calls for committed efforts, conscious efforts. And when we look back, after having the bhoga, it's only regrets live with us. So too, when we look back after these struggles and yoga, there is self-congratulations. Yeah, we could attend the class today. We could study this text today. We could refresh our knowledge. We could remember our gurus, shastras, devatas. There's always congratulation. When we look back after doing these things, while doing which there is always struggle. There's always seeming pain, etc. Because all these enemies are there, no? The mind and the senses and vasanas, जिनको हमने power दे के आदत बनाया, isn't it? And who are the saintly people who were like us only earlier? They have muted or zerofied the power of the vasanas and the mind and the senses. You know, that's a correct slogan. You know, मुक्त भारत कहते हैं ना, ऐसे ही करना चाहिए. मैं तो कहता हूँ ऐसे जो दुष्ट है उनको पूरा इंडिया से भगाने के लिए दूसरे जो कम दुष्ट है उनसे मिलना चाहिए। पहले दूसरे दुष्टों, छोटे दुष्टों को मिलो, फिर बड़े दुष्ट को पहले भगाओ। The saints and sages have made the mind vasana senses. What do you say? Muted or potency-less to influence the life. Their whole life is only the Shastras, the Buddhi, and the intellectual knowledge and logical knowledge and habit of it. उनको इतना ईजी है अभी उनका वो दे हैव रीच्ड टू दैट लेवल फ्रॉम वेयर वी वर दे वर आल्सो एट वन टाइम हमारा भी वही काम है when we continue in this way empowering our intellect and weakening the other things one day slowly it becomes easier to us and yet we can't take for granted we can't take for granted we told you if you remember some 20-30 days back the example how long I have to keep the poison away it is in front of me अब देखो कैसा क्वेश्चन है ये how long I have to keep the poison away? Is it a question? Isn't it? It's eternally you have to keep away because anytime you take, it will kill us. So, to how long I have to keep away the mind and vasanas to work together independently? Internally, only intellectual convictions, authentic knowledge से जो हुए उसी के आधार पर जीना है. So be conscious of the mind and its movements. Are they guided by vasanas or the intellectual convictions? Check it and keep on equipping. That's how in earlier days बच्चों को बिठाकर दादा दादी लोग बुद्धि को उनको समझाते थे बेटा ये अधर्म है ये पाप है ये देखो झूठ नहीं बोलना दूसरों को धोखा नहीं देना उससे नरक जाओगे दुख हो जाएगा जेल में जाओगे बिठा बिठा के इतने क्यूटली खाना खिलाते बताते इन दैट चाइल्ड द कन्विक्शन कम्स देशभक्ति का कन्विक्शन धर्म का कन्विक्शन सेवा भाव का कन्विक्शन द कन्विक्शन अबाउट द प्रेजेंस ऑफ गॉड द कन्विक्शन अबाउट द नीड ऑफ प्रेइंग टू हिम अब उस बच्चे का जन्म बन गया वो always that knowledge and the giver of knowledge they remember my mother said my father said my dada said my dadi said I mean, they themselves are not doing or not saying anything to children. Children are getting only the worldly inputs, therefore their convictions are that. है ना बस टीवी में ही मजा है दैट्स व्हाट देयर कन्विक्शन घर में कोई संत महात्मा आ भी गए गलती से दे डोंट कम आउट ऑफ देयर रूम एंड द ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स डेयर नॉट इवन टेल वन थिंग टू द चाइल्ड बेटा स्वामी जी आए जाके प्रणाम आके प्रणाम करो वो अपने कमरे में बंद रहता दैट्स व्हाई स्टॉप्ड गोइंग एनीवेयर isn't it? Instead of calling the entire friends and relatives, family, when some Mahatma comes to our house, we send them all for travel. अरे 4 दिन स्वामी जी घर में रहेंगे तुम घूम के आ जाना बस स्वामी जी हमको हम स्वामी जी को झेलेंगे What nonsense it is. संस्कार ऐसे दे रहे हम उनको and they are the ones who are going to grow tomorrow. We were also brought up like that. Whatever the way we were brought up, we are that now. All is in the vasanas, the intellect, the mind. ये तीनों में है जहाँ इंटेलेक्ट का पलटा भारी एंड इट गाइड्स द माइंड वी आर ऑन राइट ट्रैक sometime it is 1 day it is 1 year 1 life sometime only 1 second and where the mind and senses vasanas are in integration then we have gone away from the track of positivity. Now you understood the need of everyday listening Shastra, everyday studying Shastra. You can never have the option, should never have the option. Not only that day's refreshing is avoided when you don't attend the class, that day the vasanas get a chance to become stronger. Because ये नहीं कर रहे तो हो जाएगा. Like that day when you don't tell the child आज पढ़ो करके तो उस दिन बच्चे को थोड़ा अंदर से फ्रीडम ज़्यादा मिलता है अपने मनमानी करने का So therefore, every day you have to tell them, Bas, you have to study. This is I am speaking truth. If you are Bewakoof not to understand, what can I do? But I can't stop telling you. So that I am freed from my responsibility. कि nobody should blame me to आपने बताया नहीं मेरे बच्चों को मैं कहता मैंने बताया उसने सुना नहीं इट्स नॉट माई प्रॉब्लम in the same way we cannot leave our intellect freed without exposing to shastras and we cannot leave the mind to the vasanas we have to command it in short finally whole day should be so dignifiedly beautifully planned by the intellect wherein the mind senses are acting in a most nobler, diviner way. Let us do our dharma. Let us do some sevas. Let us do the punya karya. Let us do the nama smarana. Let us do our stotra patana. Let us do our bhajana kirtana. Let us regularly do our swadhyaya and shravana. Let us pray to the Lord for some time. Let us probe into the truth, the reality for some time. Bas. And let us do them with the positive inspiration that this is the right way, this is the evolutionary way. In this way only, I just become nearer and nearer to my own essential self. And डर भी होना है ये नहीं करूंगा मैं तो दूसरे में फंसूंगा और मुझे नहीं फंसना मुझे नहीं गिरना in that way we have to help ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो सरषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः येरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं वदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याता सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः निधये सर्वविद्यानां विजये भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं विदिताखिलशास्त्रसुधा जलधे महितोपनिषत् कथितार्थनिधे हृदये कलये विमलं शरणं भव शङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यमेकं नित्यम् अविमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मभक्तियोगधर्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदाचार्येभ्यो नमः तेषां कृपया उपनिषदुक्तब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन मोक्षसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं विश्वाध्यात्मिकप्रगत्यर्थम् अस्मिन् धर्मसंस्थापने निष्ठितानां निरन्तरदिग्विजयार्थम् अनेक शास्त्र अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदीय श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदः आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थम वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे ओम नित्यानंदं निराधारं निखिलाधारम् अव्ययम् निगमाद्यगतं नित्यं नीलकण्ठं नमाम्यहम् ओम अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः शान्तिमन्त्रः ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ओम शांति 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 ओम अथ संबंध भाष्यम these three things yesterday thoroughly we have studied what is that परत्र बंधागारः स्यात् तेषाम् आत्माभिमानिनाम् आत्मभावनया भ्रान्त्या देहं भावयता सदा when we take the sharira as the atman not only this life we are destroying even further lives also then आप्रज्ञम आदिमध्यांतैः भ्रमभूतैः त्रिभिः सदा जाग्र स्वप्न सुषुप्तैस्तु छादितं विश्वतैः another very subtle point स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण शरीरास are not real they are भ्रांति जन्य identifying with this भ्रांति जन्य three sharira We only are living the life of Jagra Swapna Sushupti as the Vishwatayasa Prajna, keeping ourselves far away from our real Turiya Tattva in which alone there is moksha. Now the thought which was referred by us even in our evening classes was Samayaya Samatmanam Mohayet Dvaita Rupaya Guhagatam Samatmanam Lavate cha Swayam Harim. This is again very punch shloka. बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत important है ना. I have deluded myself with my own Maya and got lost in the Dvaita Jagat, Anatma Jagat, Upadhyukta Jagat, Jiva Bhavayukta Jivanam. Again, Guhagatam Samatmanam Labate cha Swayam. Samatmanam Harim Guhagatam Swayam cha Labate. Again, that time when we redecide to discover the Atman in our own heart, we can discover him and get liberated. And the entire world, right from the Sadgurus, Sadshastras, and Devatas to the Dushta Gurus and Dushta Shastras and the Rakshasas, both are plentifully available outside for us to make us accomplish whatever we choose. Among these two, do you want to continue dealing yourself with the Maya and get lost in the Dvaita Jagat? There are many gurus and acharyas to guide you in that also. There are lots of shastras also written there. है कि नहीं? The Artha Shastra, the Kama Shastras, the Nastika Shastras, the Bhoga Shastras. और इनको बहुत बढ़िया समझाने वाले इतने सारे नास्तिक संघ समाज, देव भगवत व्यतिरेकी समाज, इतने सारे लोग हैं आपको. They all will help for strengthening our delusory life. उनका सहायता भी ले सकते. In the same way, if we want to discover the Atman in our own Hridaya, to guide us in this also, the Sadgurus, Sadacharya, Sadshastras, and Sadpurushas also are there now. But first and foremost is, it is I who start my delusion as well as my wisdom. All other helps I take for destruction as well as for construction. It is again our choice. Having given this highest wisdom, gurus can't do anything than giving that freedom and relax. And you cannot leave now once this is understood. Knowing that the life is in my hands, I have to now change the direction of my life. And it is only a question of some time to break through those shackles or those opening gateways. Thereafter, journey will not be that much tough, but it will be tough only. पहुंचने तक जर्नी करना ही पड़ता है, उसमें टफनेस होती है, but not as much as. That's why I give always example. Once you hit the highway, journey is still with struggle, but less struggle. But till you come to highway from your home, you have to go through all the gully, all the different markets, and very barik lanes, very thin lanes, many other traffic jams, till you hit the highway. In the same way, spirituality may be highway hit करने तक we have to negotiate all our earlier habits, etc., thought patterns, etc., wrong convictions. उनको पार कर दी, आ गए highway में, then not that much difficulty. And what is the highway? What we spoke just 3.5 minutes back. है ना? Refreshing our intellect daily with our Shastra Adhyanam, keeping that knowledge intact, planning well and living life accordingly. That's called as traveling on highway till the destination is reached. So it is I only delude myself with my Maya. In the delusion, I live the Dvaita Jagat, where the things are there other than me, I am incomplete without them. I want to complete myself, I want them, therefore to procure them, these are that I have to do. The entire samsara begins from Dvaita. The other option, Guhagatam Samatmanam Lavatecha Swayam Harim. Guha means Hridaya, cave of heart. Gata means the one who is there, staying there, who is called as Samatmanam. who is called as the Hari. In Bhakti Bhasha is called as Hari. In the Vedanta Bhasha is called as Samatma. Lavatecha, one with his efforts, he can reach to him. So again, very clear intellectual understanding. With Maya, in the Dvaita Bhranti Jagat, you want to suffer, or by becoming introverted and discovering the Atma in the Hridaya, you want to get liberated. तय कर लो बाबा, पहले इसको तय करो. That is why in all our classes we say, first decide to be spiritual sadhaka. Then only we are ready to do all the things. And like first decide to get treated and get admitted in the hospital. Then only the doctors operate upon us and make us well. If you have decided not to go only, what can they do? So too, if you don't decide to be a spiritual sadhaka, which is the first and foremost thing, nobody in the world can pull us. इसलिए लोग कहते हैं हम तो चाहते ही नहीं सत्संग, आप पीछे क्यों पड़ रहे हो? हमको नहीं चाहिए बाबा, हम खुश है in this world. So they have not decided. That's why the gurus, an intelligent guru never runs behind the disciple or people. जिसको है जरूरत वो खुद ही आएगा मेरे पास, मैं सिखाऊंगा उनको. Yamadharmaraj every moment runs behind millions of jivas to kill them, not to give Atma Vidya. Because people don't take Atma Vidya. But that one fellow came to him called Nachiketa. खुशी से भगवान ने उनको ज्ञान दिया. जितना भी भागो without wanting the jnana, Yama will chase us. We have studied all this in our Yoga Vasishtha. And the seeker who is a real seeker of Brahman is not afraid of Mrityu. Rather, he goes to the Mrityu only to get the Amrita Jnana. That is the Nachiketa and Kathopanishad. Gita also same. In the Yuddha also you can have the Atma Jnana if you are interested. दोनों एक ही है. वहाँ का मृत्यु, इधर नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज मृत्यु ओनली. आफ्टर हिटिंग ईच अदर विद बाणम, मरने का ही जगह ये भी. मरने के लिए क्या करते हैं, मरने के बाद कहाँ जाते हैं, ओनली दिस टू. मरने के लिए क्या करते हैं, युद्ध, दैट इज गीता. मरने के बाद कहाँ जाते हैं, यमलोक, कठोपनिषद. But in both places, because they were internally prepared, they could seek and get Tattva Jnana, Brahma Jnana, Atma Jnana. Good examples, all our Shastras. Yoga Vasisth Ramayana is 15-16 साल में सब समझो. The more you delay, the more vasanas become stronger. Then you can't be accessed by this knowledge by the gurus. Now let us do next one. Vyomni vajrana lajjvala kalapo vividha krutihi amati vishnoho srishtischa svabhavo dvaita vistaraha. Then why this world? Why it is troubling me? Why it is so attractive? And they are all non-thinking, sentimental questions. To those questions, there are no answers. The answer is drop the questions. The only way to drop question is accept. Acceptance is the entire, like the Vidyut Jwala Mala in the sky, flashes and goes. That's it. In the same way, in the Mahavishnu Paramatma, the whole world of names and forms is just flashing and glittering. You don't attend to that bus. If you give importance, it will catch you. Therefore, Abhati Vishnoho Srishtischa Swabhavaha Dvaita Vistaraha. This Dvaita Vistara is the Swabhava of the Vishnu. Leave it to Vishnu. You know in what is your good. Your good is in spiritual sadhana. How you stick to that? Why are you worried? In this, na? Don't ask, but ये क्या दारू का दुकान है वहां? अरे बगल में मंदिर है ना, तू जा वहां. भगवान ने दोनों बनाया, ये उनकी लीला है. Why that very stinking smell of fish market and all? There are other vegetable shops. तुम उस तरफ जाओ, तुमको इतनी पसंद नहीं. Why do you fight with it? It is स्वभाव. There are jivas who want that. उनके लिए तुम क्यों फंस रहे हो? And Vishnu, when he wants to play his Leela, ही विल प्ले द लीला. लीला में हमेशा दो होना चाहिए. सिर्फ हीरो है सिनेमा पे चलता नहीं, विलन भी चाहिए. इट इज अ ग्रेटनेस एंड कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ द विलन दैट द हीरो बिकम्स हीरो. इजंट इट? कोई आउट करने के लिए बॉल डालते हैं तभी ये मारकर सिक्सर, इसको ताली बजती है ना. कोई बॉलर ही नहीं है तो क्या नेट प्रैक्टिस में कोई इसको अवार्ड मिलता है क्या? Only the main match where the opponent is trying to get you out, that you hit that for six and get winning runs, oh, you are given all that. So therefore, what this thought that ये ऐसा ही है, इससे बढ़कर जिंदगी में हमारे मन को रक्षा करने वाला बात नहीं. Our intellect's capacity should not be misused in brooding about those things of which there are no answers, there are no solutions. It is like that, only that's it. Use that intellect to probe the truth or reality. Use it for finding the techniques to make the Lord pleased through upasanas, etc. Use that intellect to learn the art of controlling and managing our faculties. इस तरफ use करो. Don't ask why the world is like this. Remove that word why. The world is like this, that's all. Why the people are like this. That day we drop the word why and say the people are like that. Hot tension, other tension गया. बाकी आधा what you have to do, you that's it. You do it. स्वभाव है विष्णु का ये द्वैत विस्तर. उनको पूछो जाकर. अब by the time you reach him, the whole world is not there. Question will not be there. This is मांडुक्य का लेवल है ये. मांडुक्य उपनिषद योगवास्ट महारामायण, they talk this language. And this is from the Padma Purana. विष्णोः माया स्वभावः द्वैत विस्तारः. अंडरस्टूड कि आभाति विष्णोः सृष्टिश्च स्वभावः द्वैत विस्तारः. द स्वभाववाद which Karikakara Gaudapadji spoke, it has the authority in the Purana. Process we tell. Paramatma is Maya Shakti. Through that he is the Ishvara. Maya is the Mahata. Through that he is the Hiranyagarbha. Mahata is the Vishwa. Through that he is the Virat Purusha. From the Mahat Tattva comes the Ahankara. From the Ahankara, three Ahankaras come. From the three Ahankaras, Tamasika Ahankara, Panchatanmatra, Stula Shariras. Rajasika Ahankara, Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, Antakarna. And Satvika Ahankara, Adhishthana Devata. And into all of them, Paramatma enters. Then only they work. This is the Sushti happened. This process we tell, we can't answer you why. It is Swabhava. And no need to ask why. इसलिए आपके जरा कोई भी कुछ भाई पूछता है ना, आप उसको उसी क्वेश्चन से पूछो भाई. बट व्हाई आर यू आस्किंग? यू आस्क हिम. ही सेज मुझे जानना है, बट व्हाई डू यू वांट टू नो? आई वांट टू बिकम हैप्पी, बट व्हाई डू यू वांट टू बिकम हैप्पी? यू आस्क ए फेलो आस्क द व्हाई क्वेश्चन अगेन विथ व्हाई, वो चुप हो जाएगा. समटाइम हाउ यू कैन आंसर, बट यू कैन नेवर आंसर द व्हाई. So how and howling and why whiling, we waste our life. स्वभावः विष्णोः द्वैत विस्तरः. अब इसका एक पॉजिटिव पॉइंट क्या है ना, जब भगवान विष्णु के आप भक्त हो और ये पूरा विश्व भगवान विष्णु का विस्तृति है, एंजॉयड हैविंग डिवोशन टू ऑल. दैट्स हिंदुइज्म. भगवान विष्णु is there in the form of the snake also with its poison. We don't allow the snake to bite us, but we do puja to snake also. You understood the Hinduism का क्या है? विष्णु इस रूप में है भाई, विष्णु को नमस्कार. क्या क्यूटेस्ट एंड स्वीटेस्ट थिंग. पहाड़ भी विष्णु है, पेड़ भी विष्णु है भैया, नदी भी विष्णु है. Every living being is भगवद रूप. That is why every day before we eat the food is taken up, 5 morsels and kept there. देवताओं के लिए भी, गुरुओं के लिए भी, मनुष्यों के लिए भी, भूतों के लिए भी, एंड जिनके लिए हम अरुणग्रस्त हैं उनके लिए, बिकॉज इन ऑल द फॉर्म भगवान ओनली देयर. In Hinduism, na, the heart is very clear and free. Hinduism has done vigorous contemplation about the truth, about the Jagat. It has never worried it. Whenever the worrying came, it just escaped by saying, Prabhu, he is Rup mein hai. It is required, otherwise there is no answer, then you are caught up there. Like one aspect of wife or husband, trying to change it. Whole life, both of them get caught up only. मेरी पत्नी बहुत गुस्से वाली है. अरे बेवकूफ, गुस्से वाली है तो पहले एक्सेप्ट करो व्हाट इज आर नेगेटिव. नो इन केस अदर पॉजिटिव, शी मेक्स गुड फूड, नो फिर ऑर्डर करो उनको, एंजॉय करो. शी टेल्स लॉट ऑफ गुड स्टोरीज, सुनो. द आंसरलेस प्रॉब्लम, व्हाई आर यू मेकिंग इट सो इम्पोर्टेंट? देयर आर अदर थिंग्स इन लाइफ, नो, उसका मजा लो. Here also, I loved this sentence, Baba. स्वभावः द्वैत विस्तरः. विष्णु का स्वभाव है, विष्णु का है, because we have to reach to Vishnu. Like somebody is behaving like that. It is this fellow's nature it is. If you say that, problem is solved, but that fellow will be there in the mind. Why should we waste that opportunity? Even that opportunity is in cash. How? By saying that, hey, Vishnu Maya hai. Vishnu Bhagwan through this fellow behaving like that. Therefore, ये उनका स्वभाव नहीं, विष्णु का स्वभाव है. In that way, even from a person who has got negative स्वभाव, we should be able to reach Vishnu. That's what is Prahlad. How dushta is father, Hiranyakashipu. But it says, whatever dushtata my father has, it is his. But the strength behind that is my Narayana. Therefore, he is seeing Narayana through his worst, that father. Therefore, he is comfortable with him. He had no complaints. क्योंकि I have the choice of seeing Vishnu in you. I am choosing that. बाकी क्या है, विष्णु का स्वभाव है, इज एक्सप्रेसिंग एज यू. मैं क्या करूं? इंटेलिजेंस का हाइट कहते हैं इसको, वेयर वी एनकैश इवन टेरेबल नेगेटिव थिंग्स आल्सो फॉर द हाईएस्ट पॉजिटिव. देन नेक्स्ट वन, शांति मनसि शांतश्च घोरे मूढ़े च तादृशः ईश्वरो दृश्यते नित्यं सर्वत्र न तु तत्त्वतः. देखो, ये दो एंगल्स हमेशा लेट अस कीप इन माइंड. Paramatma, he is Maya. It has three gunas. Because of Sattva-guna, Paramatma appears Sattvic. Because of Rajoguna, Paramatma appears Rajasic. Because of Tamoguna, Paramatma appears Tamasic. Clear? What we have to do? One, whether it is Rajoguna or Tamoguna, Sattva-guna, learn the art of seeing Paramatma. Second, slowly change from Rajo, Tamo to Sattva-guna. Two angles. गुणों के दृष्टि में come to Sattva-guna. And divine drushti say, in and through all of them, see divine only. Gita 14th chapter, all this is said. Prakasham pravritti moham nadveshi sampravrittani nanivrittani kankshati udasina vadasina gunairya vichalate gunavartante ite yovatishnayya samadukka sukha swastha samanoshtasma kanchana tulya priya priya tulya. Then, mam cheha avyavicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatititan brahma muyaya kalpa. They're all very subtle sadhanas. एक तो कम आउट ऑफ रजो तमो एंड बी इन सत्व, वो एफर्ट एक चल रहा है. दूसरा, इवन रजस एंड तमस गम्स, ये परमात्मा ही इस रूप में एक्ट कर रहे हैं. मिस नॉट परमात्मा, देन वी आर डूइंग करेक्ट थिंग. मिस परमात्मा, वी हैव गॉन रॉन्ग. सो वेरी क्लियर. घोड़े घोरे मीन्स रजोगुण कहते हैं उसको. मूढ़े च तादृशः ईश्वरो दृश्यते नित्यम सर्वत्र. ओके. Through the gunas, Ishvara looks to be like that, but natu tattvataha. In his purest form, Ishvara is being Mayatita, therefore Gunatita, therefore neither Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. How important thoughts we are getting here, you see. Now comes the next sequence of discussion. Same thing in Advaita Anubhuti also. Evening. Loha mrutpinda hemnam cha vikaro na cha vidyate characharanam bhutanam dvaitata na cha satyatah. So characharanam bhutanam dvaitata na cha satyatah. In reality, the Dvaitata in the form of Charachara is not real. What is real then? Advaita Paramatma only. Just like Loha Mrutpinda Hemnam Vikaraha Nacha Vidyate. Loha, Mutpinda and Hema, they are never losing their original state of being. Then where is the modifications of that? In our own imagination, in our own projection, in our own acceptance. Like the gold is there, an ornament. It is imagined by my mind. Then with some instruments, I mold it into that. It is a projection of my mind. Then I say it is an ornament. It is an accept of my mind. In all the cases, all the time, gold is gold only there. Natu tattvataha vikaraha. This in Vedanta called as Vivartavad, wherein the original thing remaining as it is appears to be something else, never becoming that. That is how the Parabrahma is Vivarta Karana of the Jagat. Upadana Nimitta Karana Karana way of speaking is one. Otherwise, Vivarta Karana. What Vivarta means? He remains as he is and yet appears like that. ये सब वही है मिट्टी का घड़ा के रूप में आना विवर्त कारण है वो because मिट्टी original self has not lost its mittiness at any period of time. Before the pot is made, during the pot is staying, when the pot is broken, mud is mud only. Gold is gold only. See that. Our job is to be able to see the mud or the gold or the Atman. We are now overpowered by the pot or the ornaments, the Rupa Nama of the Jagat. So when you can devalue the Rupa Nama, we can focus on the self. Rupa Nama we are valuing because we have vasanas, desires, imaginations that through them we can get bhoga. So we are habituated to the indulgence in them as a bhogi. That's why on the Upavasa day, the bhoga vastus are given up, the bhokta is given up, then the yogi is given a training that day. That's called Upavas. That you are turning your mind towards the God because the mind is freed from the bhoga, because that day you have decided I am not going to have this bhojanam or that bhojanam. So a spiritual sadhaka हमेशा उपवास में रहना है. What is उपवास और हमेशा? Through indriyas, you should not look at the world as bhogya vastu, should not involve. And upavasa is using all indriyas for Paramatma. He will recognize him, definitely. And once the revelation happens, the thing is done. Now it's realized by me. Ha, oo, ha, oo, ha, oo. Oh, there is nothing other than me. I am the eater, I am the eaten. Ahamannam, 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 ahamannadaha. Ahamannadaha, ahamannadaha. I am the food, the eaten one, and I am the eater also. Means experiencer and experienced both are me. In my delusion, I thought I was experiencer myself and took the experience world as other than me, and the substratum of both I have forgotten. Now I realized. So just like the mud and the metal and the gold do not have vikara in reality, in the same way, the entire vikara seen dvaita is tattvataha nahi hai. तो विकार विद्य चराचराणाम भूतानाम द्वैतता न च सत्यतः. Then सर्वगेतु निराधारे चैतन्यात्मनि संस्थिता विद्या द्विगुणां सृष्टिं करोत्यात्मावलम्बनात् सर्पस्य रजता नास्ति नास्ति रज्जो भुजङ्गदा उत्पत्तिनाशयोर्नास्ति कारणं जागतोऽप्च लोकानां व्यवहारार्थम विद्येवं विनिर्मिता. ब्यूटीफुल क्लैरिटी. ये नहीं पुराण कितना मजा आ रहा है ना मेरे को यार. सब कुछ इसी में है, इसको आराम से एंजॉय करो. मेरा मन ऐसा काम कर रहा है आजकल. स्पष्टता ही इज गिविंग हियर. So tomorrow we will continue this ब्रह्म पुराण और थोड़ा होगा before we go to Sri Vishnu Dharma Purana. Yeah, it has also got. Then there is Vishnu Purana quotations also. Lot of them. Then, हमारे लाइफ में ना कभी कोई पुराण उराण पढ़ने का डिजायर ज्यादा था शायद कि he has put us in this Shwethashwathara study of the Bhashya. In that references of all are coming, there is some satisfaction. Time मिला तो exhaustively we study. So may Lord bless us to be on this path firmly. Om 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 Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Parabrahmashibhyo Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Namaha Om Tat Sat. Yes, friends. Thank you.